Welcome back to the Big Life podcast. Last week was yet another crazy long week. Jaden, what are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, it was a pretty packed week for the both of us. We're gonna give you guys a recap of our weeks and the new NCAA rankings, upcoming games, our first week of class, and then what we want to do after college.
And we also have our first guest of the season, Alex Kloss, who's a graduate that played at University of California that we will interview at the end.
So let's start with a little question for discussion. Give us your rose and thorn of the week.
My rose of this week is in our stats for how much we do. I was second on the most running, so I ran 24 miles last week. The number one ran 26, but she's always top of everyone. But I was like second. I wasn't too far, and I was kind of far from everyone else. So I was like, okay, okay. But my thorn is because I ran so much. I'm so sore. I got a massage on Friday before or after our TCU game, and he killed my calves. My calves were hurting until our next game and after that game. So, and Bud, my playing time's been looking pretty good, and hopefully it keeps up like that. I got 84 minutes in my game, and we won, and we're 4-0. So, okay,
Yeah.
now go do your rose, thorn, and bud.
Okay, my rose is no, I'm going with my thorn. We lost. But my rose is that we genuinely went toe to toe with them. BYU is a team that is like, dude, we played in their sick ass stadium. It was so cool, so cool. Like honestly, like they started the game off with a prayer, and it was very respectful. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect going to BYU. So it was definitely different. But that was the rose. Was like our energy was matched because of like the underdog like fuel, you know. But we literally went toe to toe with them, so I'm proud of our team for that. Like obviously we didn't get the result, so that was my thorn. But rose wise, like we were there. Like the team was there, the energy was there. It was felt from the bench. Like I honestly was on the bench, like and I'm never like that ever. So yeah. And then my bud would be this next game we have tomorrow because match day -1, and we have another game on Sunday. So another 2-game week. So I'm excited for that. But if you want to describe your week in one word, go on.
Rising, okay? Because we are kind of going up in rankings, so we're rising and my playing time is rising and my our I feel like our team morale is rising. I just feel like it's just been a good we're just building up and hopefully we don't hit a plateau hope and then drop off. Hopefully we just keep going
Yeah.
up. But obviously there's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be ups and downs. But for now, we're rising.
Mine would probably be like bumpy. Because we just started class, so and I've been like switching out my classes and stuff. So I've only been to 2 classes and it's been 3 days. So I haven't skipped any though. Like it's because they're dropping. Like yesterday, I was supposed to have 2 classes, but one of them got canceled, so I only had one. And then the first day of school, I had a class, but then I dropped the class, so now I don't ever have that class ever again. So like just bumpy. And then soccer, like again, we did well against BYU. We just didn't get the result, which is frustrating. So it's like it was good, but then it was also bad because we didn't get the result that we wanted. But yeah. What about a sound?
Okay, you do the sound first. I've never done that one. You go.
Like eh, like not happy, but like yay, because like yeah, you take it
Okay.
as you will. That's my sound. The other week, mine was like like the other day it was like
Okay, I guess mine would be mm, mm, you know?
Okay, okay, and wrapping up. Okay, well, I kind of went over my typical day, but do you want to give us a typical day for you this week?
I never get treatment, ever, and we usually ask. And this week I've gotten treatment all 3 days because I'm kind
You're
of dying.
feeling it.
So I've woken up and then gone to treatment and then class. And then after that, we had film and then we practice. And I'm stupid. I forgot to put my tracker in for practice.
Oh,
So
so you
it
would have
didn't
like
get,
27 miles.
so it didn't
Sorry.
get any of my stats and I ran so much yesterday.
When is your guys' practice block again?
I mean, it's not really like a block. We have it's 2 hours is our practice or whatever, and then our lift is 45. So it's basically 3 hour block.
I guess for me, I had training at 8, like technical. We did shooting and it was honestly fun. And then I had breakfast, and then now I'm filming this, and then I have a meeting, and then I have treatment, then we have training, and then we have film, then training, then lift. I don't know why we have lift, and then class. So if you ever wonder what a D1 life is like, it's pretty chaotic. And
Should we go into like
let's
our
see.
our performance in our games versus our team performance?
Yeah,
Let's start with like how did you feel about your performance this week and like what are you proud of?
I got a lot of shots off. I think on my thing I had like six and then like four on goal. So like one of them, oh my gosh, I'm so mad because I shanked it with my left. Don't ever put the ball on my left foot, but if it's on my right, I promise you it's going somewhere near the net. But the left, I like beat a player. I like cut, and then I shanked it. And like it low key could have been a freaking goal, but I missed. But honestly, I'm proud of my shots and being attacking. I think one of the weeks I said I wanted to like drive at a back line, and I got that this week. So yeah, I'm proud of that. What about you?
We played TCU, and so TCU was ranked 15th and we're 18th. So it was our first home game, matched rank up, crazy game. It was like we beat them 3-2. But in
So
the first half, I don't think I've ran more because they were really good at possessing. And so they were just passing it back through their back line. They only got 4 shots off in the first half, but they had like 60% of the possession. But it's okay. We only let 4 shots off, so it's fine. And then the second half, like we actually started playing and keeping it when we won it. And we won that game. And then we played Nebraska this weekend.
that'll
And
be a good game.
yeah, we scored in the first like 5 minutes, so it was good. We went up early and then we kept getting a couple shots off. And then they started pressing us really hard and we kind of were freaking out. Our center backs kept kicking it long. I was like, please play me. I'm right here. I'm here to support you. Second
Flex.
half, we switched it up and we changed our formation and we had 2 6s. So I had one more person with me and I found the ball so much more. And honestly, it was like what I thought like one of my best like performances. Obviously not perfect, but I was getting the ball when I wanted to get the ball and doing some good stuff.
Nice. Hey, nice job, dude. It always feels so good like when the coach makes a like formation decision and that like works really well. Yeah, that was actually one of my questions was did you guys end up changing anything about your formation and stuff? So that's cool. But what about the team? Like how was your team performance? How was all that?
Well, obviously we are 4-0 right now, so I think we're doing pretty well. And I mean, our first 4 games have been pretty tough games too. 2 ranked
Hmm.
matchups against like the good teams and we're holding our own and we have 2 games this week, one against Troy and then South Alabama, which I don't know how they play and hopefully we keep the same mentality for these games. But I do think like our team has been doing very well. We can obviously do better though still. I think there's like a lot of aspects where we can improve upon, but like that's the same for my own play, so but how about you guys?
So I think the last three games, well, we lost. We
Don't you have
lost
a
two
tie?
games.
So you're 0, 1, and 2.
Those two losses were against ranked teams. No excuse. Very good teams. We know that we can compete with them. Like I think the last couple of weeks we said that it was mentality and like us not going out there and like wanting to beat a team. Like I think we play ourselves a lot and kind of degrade ourselves a lot. But I think this past game against BYU, like the energy was there. Like we were on the front foot. We were defending a lot in the first half, but we did like get back and it was a very competitive game. And then unfortunately, one of their goals was actual screamer. I was like, bro, have it. Like the first goal, unlucky. Like two clearances went back and it just landed like right where she was at. So unlucky for us. But then their second goal, I was like, you can have it. It was such a good. Hey, if you're watching this, good job, girl. That was made. My whole team is like, bruh. So we have two upcoming games, and I'm excited. Like they're both at home, so great energy from all the girls being there. Actually, one of my friends got a red card, so she's not going to be there. So it might be a little bit of a stretch for the team, just because one of her strengths is building for us and dribbling and breaking down teams alone. Like she can do that on her own. Gonna be a different adjustment, but we definitely have so much depth in our bench that like I think we're chilling.
And before we get into our interview with Alex, we kind of want to talk about what we want to do after college, dude, and like what are you planning on doing?
So coming into college, I didn't know if I wanted to play the 4 years. Still don't know if I want to play the 4 years, but honestly, I want to. For me, it was between pro and college. Like initially coming into college, but I'm glad that I did come to college and learn a lot about myself and a lot about the game and just different styles and stuff. And also just be a college student. Like I've never really been a student. I think pro, I definitely want to play abroad. I definitely think that traveling overseas, getting paid for it is, and like just traveling in general to a different country and different everything, it would be super cool. So I definitely don't know the timeline, but I'm, excited to see what's to come. But I definitely want to start by playing over there or honestly anywhere. I just want to play in a different environment. Yeah, I definitely do want to go pro. What about you?
I do as well. I do want to go all 4 years first, maybe even have a fifth year. So then I fully feel like
Oh yeah.
if I go into pro, like obviously it takes time to start playing when you go into a new team, but hopefully it's like I'm at a point where I can go and make a difference at a pro team instead of going in and being like, oh, I need to build my way all the way up on this team too. And I also think like I don't know if I want to play here or if I want to go overseas yet. I think that'll come with like time. I'm capable of living away from like my family and stuff because I'm already doing that now where I'm all the way in Alabama compared to like California. So I don't really see my parents anyway. So I think I would be fine living overseas. It's just hard because
Yeah,
then you leave your friends and just the United States in general. But like, do you see yourself playing domestically or abroad?
abroad. I mean, both, but I think like I resonate with the style of play in Europe. I'm a very technical player, so I like being close. I like keeping the ball. Like, and I think here in the NWSL that is a thing, but it's also like who can exploit in behind the most, who can
Mhm.
combine to play that ball for a cutback cross. Like that is European soccer, but that's more American style version of soccer. And I resonate with, European styles. What about you?
Which wherever the wind takes me, honestly. But I'm good with
Hey,
like I think if I were to play abroad, I'd want to play in either like Australia, Portugal,
ooh,
maybe even like hey, the goal is Chelsea.
stop laughing. It could come true, bruh.
Hey, eventually. That's
Lock
like
in, lock in.
I'm a Chelsea fan anyways, and the women's team is so good. Like that
So
is
good.
so good. But even after like once you're done with pro, like what kind of career are you thinking of having?
Okay, random. I love cosmetology. I don't think anyone knows what that is, but it's basically nails, hairs, lashes, makeup, everything. I love that. Even though I'm not really much of a girly girl, I still get my nails done. I still love my hair. I still love my eyelashes, everything like that. So I definitely want to indulge in that type of stuff. But yeah, I think that's like kind of what I want to do. I'm actually a legal studies major, so I don't know how it's gonna get me there, but I'm gonna get there because that's what I want to do. Like after I know I will have a name, like I kind of have a little bit of a name, and I'm starting to get there. But as soon as like soccer and stuff kind of goes off the charts for me, like that's where I definitely want to branch into. So yeah, but what about you? What do you want to take after soccer?
I want to probably stay like in the sports field, but I want to be like my major is psychology and I want to be like a sports psychologist at some point and like whether that be like an actual one or just like helping teams out with like the performance side and like soccer is just such like a mental sport. Being one for younger athletes and helping them with their mentality when they're younger will help them succeed later in life.
Now we're excited to bring on our very first guest of the Big Life podcast. Listen to Alex talk about her journey and everything. It's definitely very inspirational story. So I think you guys should definitely take a listen on that, which is
Alex Kloss. She's a former Division I player from University of California and one of my friends. She plays on my summer team. Alex, thanks for being here.
Of course,
yeah.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
To start,
Um,
we want to ask about walking us through your college soccer journey and how you ended up at Santa Clara and then at Cal.
Yeah, so for me, it was a little bit unconventional, I guess, just according to today's standards, because I committed when I was a freshman in high school. So it was right before the big rule change that happened. And I think everyone should be really grateful for that rule change because when I was a freshman in high school, I really didn't know what I wanted in terms of school and soccer. I was just really young. So I committed to play at Santa Clara and I played there for 2 seasons and I just wasn't getting the playing time that I wanted. I loved the school, I loved my teammates, but it just didn't feel like a right fit. So I transferred to Cal right after my sophomore season, played 2 seasons with Cal, and it was the best decision of my life.
what are like some of the differences that you felt like at Santa Clara versus Cal, like both on the field and off the field?
Yeah, I think there were a lot of differences. I mean, especially I'll go with the first soccer difference. When you get recruited as a freshman in high school, you have what, 3 years to get to college. And by the time you've developed and you're ready to go to college, you're a completely different player. And what your coach might have needed then when he recruited you is not going to match up with what he needs at that moment. And so that really hurt me as a player because I just didn't fit into what he needed in that moment. So, soccer wise, a big difference was that I felt a lot more valued at Cal. When I transferred, they needed me right then. I got a lot more playing time and I just overall felt more valued on the field. But off the field, Cal is obviously a public school, Santa Clara is a private religious school. And with that, Santa Clara felt very much like high school. Everyone knew each other, which definitely has its pros and cons. But I would say I definitely prefer a big campus. There's a lot more to do around the Berkeley campus. There's so many restaurants, things to do. You can go to San Francisco. Santa Clara, there really was not a lot to do. And if you don't have a car, it's really difficult to get around and find things to do. So, yeah, I definitely am happy that I got to experience a small school and a big school. And through that, I learned that a big school is definitely what I prefer.
The transfer portal it's like scary, but also like as you said, like you learned like what you like and what you prefer, and it also helps like with the coaches, the different coaches, you get to see different styles and stuff. So that's definitely was a cool experience, I assume. But is there any like memory that stuck out from either school, but like whether that's like with your teammates on the field, crazy goal, like anything that stuck out to you?
Yeah, I would say the one moment that like really stands out is my junior year with Cal. And we were kind of on the cusp of making the tournament or not. We had a really good season. We had a really deep roster and we were playing Stanford at Stanford. We were up 1-0 and then it was 2-1, 2-2, and then in the very last second I got a PK. And then I think it was Courtney Boone that ended up scoring the PK and we beat Stanford and it sent us to the tournament. So that was probably my favorite memory. It was so awesome. I mean, that feeling of just being so excited to win, not only for yourself, but for your team and for your coaches and all the hard work that you've put in over the season. That was our last game of conference and it was really just an amazing moment.
Especially for like crosstown rivalry. Like how far are the two? I'm not really familiar with the Bay Area, but
Oh, it's like an hour away.
Hour?
Yeah. I mean, even from Santa Clara, they've Stanford's always been our rival. So that's always been such a big game.
Now we'll go into kind of like the transfer portal process that you went through. And like before like we go and talk into that, I'm sure there's like many people that don't really know how it works, so I'll kind of explain it. Basically, the transfer portal, it's like base where like D1 student athletes like tell their school that they want to explore transferring. And like once you enter it, your compliance office tells your coaches that you're in the portal, and then coaches at other schools can see your information and contact you about joining their programs. And it doesn't like force you to leave the school you're at, but once you're in it, like your current school can choose not to like renew your like scholarship and stuff like that. And you still have to like meet all the NCAA academic eligibility rules to compete at the new school that you're going to. And so like since a lot of people are curious about the transfer portal, can you explain like what that process like was for you and what made you decide Cal over other schools?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I just remember sitting down with my coach at Santa Clara, and I wanted to have a super open and honest conversation. And I just straight up asked him, hey, what do you see my role being on the team next season? I asked him right after our last game. And I'm really, really grateful that he was honest with me. And I think a lot of players would have been upset to hear honest feedback, but I was just so grateful that he told me I don't see you having a big role on the team. And I was gutted. Obviously, when you're a soccer player and your coach tells you that, it's like, wow, I'm not good enough. I can't play here. Like, who else is going to want me? This is terrible. I also had a big scholarship there. And so I would have to give my scholarship up. I loved everyone on the team. I'd have to give that up. And for me, I had to really realize what is most important to me. Is it being at this school and being with my friends, therefore being comfortable in this school that I've been at for the past year and a half? And soccer ultimately ended up being more important to me than being comfortable. So I decided to take a risk and enter the transfer portal. And really, my biggest fear was going somewhere and then having to also pay for it. And that's what ended up happening. So Cal was the first school to reach out to me, and I'd already established a relationship with them. My original decision was between Cal and Santa Clara, and they were very honest and they said, hey, we don't have any scholarship to offer you right now. And I took that as, okay, you don't have it right now, but I know that I can work for it and I'm confident in myself that I will earn it. I knew that they really wanted me. I would have a really big role on the team. And so I made the decision and stepped way out of my comfort zone, went to Cal, and I ended up earning full scholarship. So, I mean, it is very scary to enter the portal, give up everything that you're comfortable with, and step into a super uncomfortable place and have to meet all the teammates, like get comfortable with the coaches, live in a new place, find your way around. But I mean, again, it was the best decision. And when I was in the portal, a couple other schools did reach out, and they were very different. I mean, there were SEC schools, the other WCC schools, and then there was also Cal, and every school was so different, and that was really hard because I was like, okay, do I really want to prioritize school now, or do I also want to prioritize education and location? So I decided Cal because I knew that it would set me up best for my future being at such a good school and also having a big impact on the team.
I think like I can speak I can't speak but for obviously transferring, but a lot of players from my team actually did transfer. So I do know like that it was a difficult decision, and I especially like you're still young. I know like for me, if I ever had to make decisions like that's a big decision to make. But honestly, it seems like it worked out perfect, and I think like as she's saying, a lot of players are curious about it. It's like a step that you don't really know like what's going to come out of it. But was there anything that was like really difficult mentally? Like obviously you say like you can stay comfortable where you're at, or like I know the challenging part was to transfer out, but was there anything mentally, emotionally challenging that when like you were deciding to eventually transfer?
Yeah, I mean, I would say mostly when I did transfer and I got to Cal, it was very hard for me to maintain my confidence. I mean, going from not playing as much as I wanted to my sophomore season and knowing that I had a chance to have a really big role on the team, the one thing that I needed to maintain and work on was my confidence. And I think Neil McGuire and Alex Sunley did a really good job at Cal of telling me, hey, like we encourage mistakes here. Like all we want to do is maintain your confidence. Like I still remember there were games. There was a game we played Fullerton and I scored a goal in the last like 5 minutes and we won that game 1-0 and I walked off the field like crying so upset because I just felt like I played so bad. And they were always there for me to maintain my confidence and tell me, hey, like you are a good player, you can do this. And that was so different than anything I'd ever experienced at my previous college because it was always in fight or flight and you're having to fight for your spot. No one's there to hold your hand. And not that they were holding my hand, but they were definitely just always there to bring the positivity and like make sure that I was in a good headspace.
Yeah, confidence is such a big thing, especially in college soccer, because once you like bring yourself down, then it can rub off on other people too, and you're like bringing your team down. And like I feel like for my team last year, that's kind of what happened. Like for me at least, my confidence went down because playing time it's always like up and down, and like if you let that affect you, it just like it brings everything down. But going back to like, is there any advice that you would give any players that are thinking about entering the portal, considering that it's such a small window of time to make a decision?
Yeah, so I would say you always know what you want. It's always in your gut. For me, it was a scary decision, but in my gut, I visualized the next 2 years that I had of college, and not one time did I ever see myself staying at my school. And I obviously stayed really close with a lot of the girls in my class at Santa Clara. And the amount of times that they told me, Alex, I wish I had the bravery to do what you did and just leave because they all stayed and things didn't change for them. So I would say if you have that gut feeling of, I don't think things are going to change, I'm unhappy with soccer right now, the best thing that you can do for yourself is to take that jump and just leave and try something new. And I think the hard thing is loyalty. And I think a lot of people are talking about that, like, oh, players can't be loyal to their schools anymore. But I mean, a relationship that you have with your coach and with your team has to be mutually beneficial. And if don't feel like you're getting anything from that relationship, I think it's really important to protect yourself and go somewhere that you're going to be happy.
Now that you have gone through you went through 4 years, right? Or
Yes,
full
I just
years? Okay,
graduated.
okay. Can you talk about how moving into your going into pro, like where do you play now and like how you kind of approached that idea of going pro?
Yeah, so going into college, I knew that I wanted to play pro. I've just put way too much work into the sport to not go pro. And obviously, I love soccer, and I knew I would never be like this fit and in shape after college. And so I went to Santa Clara, didn't get the playing time I wanted. And there were some doubts in my mind. How am I going to go pro? How is this going to work with no film? And right when I transferred and started getting playing time, there was no question in my mind that I was going to go pro. Yeah, I kind of took things into my own hands. In senior year, I wanted to be really proactive. I knew that I wasn't going to graduate early because I wanted to finish out my degree and also get a minor at the same time. So I knew that I had a little bit more time than people who graduate early. So I took a little bit of time to make my highlight video, reached out to a bunch of agents, and I realized that I wasn't really getting responses back from agents. And that was really difficult for me. Just I love to have a plan. And so I kind of took things into my own hands, reached out to my coach who knew someone who then connected me to a player on the team that I really wanted to play at. And basically through those connections, I was able to get a contract for a team that I really wanted to play on in Australia. So yeah, I kind of just really took it into my own hands. I knew where exactly where I wanted to go and I made it happen.
Are you excited to go to Australia? And like, how do you think that's going to be different from obviously like you're going somewhere international and like living in a whole nother place? Like, do you think you're going to be like well adjusted for that?
Yeah, so there was not one part of me that wanted to stay in the US. I always knew that I wanted to go abroad just because we're so young, and I think it's important for us to take advantage of being able to travel. And if you can travel, play the sport that you love, and get paid for it, I think there's nothing better. So, yeah, I'm super, super excited, and it won't be that big of a cultural adjustment. Obviously, everyone there speaks English, but I do want to move into European countries as well, which will be a little bit more of an adjustment. But yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, one of our questions is actually like about domestic leagues or playing abroad. So that's
Oh,
definitely
perfect.
exciting. I mean, for me, I definitely want to see myself over there too. So it'd be actually cool to make good connections. So like we can hear from you again about how all that goes and stuff. But
Yes.
is there one misconception you think people have about going pro from college?
I think maybe one would be that it's really difficult. And I don't think that's the case. And I think that there is quite literally a team for everyone. Even if you didn't play college soccer, you can go to Spain and play in the third or fourth division, and you'll have a team and you'll play professionally. So I think if you love soccer, there's going to be a team for you. And let's say that you love soccer and you're an amazing player, but you're not getting amazing opportunities to play in the NWSL where you feel like you can play. If you start abroad on any kind of lower team, it's so easy to get recognized and work your way up from there. Maybe you play on the second division, you scrimmage a first division team, they really like you play for them, then you get scouted by the NWSL. So, I mean, everyone's path is different. Don't look at people who got drafted right out of college and think that you're behind because who knows, they could be miserable and not getting playing time. So, might as well take advantage, play abroad, get playing time, be on a team that actually matches your level instead of trying to be on a team where you're never going to play.
To kind of close it out, is there any like advice that you would give either high school like soccer players trying to go to college or athletes that are trying to go pro? Just any sort of advice for them in their process.
Yeah, for high schoolers, I would definitely say what matches you individually. Because for me, I saw the name Santa Clara, and at the time, it was an amazing soccer school, and that was the only thing that played into my decision. Oh, they're really good at soccer, that's where I want to go. I wish that I took a more nuanced approach and looked at different parts of the school that I really wanted to go to. Am I going to like the fact that it's a small school? Am I going to like the fact that there's really not a lot to do around that school, that it's religious? Like there's so many things that you have to look at in each school. And does that resonate with you as a person? Are you going to be happy there? Cal is a school that if I could go back in time and as a senior in high school, if I were to have committed, it would have been to Cal because I would have thought about my future as well. Am I going to play more? Am I going to be set up for the rest of my life with an amazing degree? These are all things to think about in your future. Am I going to play to then get the film to play pro after my college career? So I think just thinking really future focused instead of present is a great way to go about your decision when trying to figure out what college you want to go to.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with what you're saying, which is cool.
Yeah. And thank you so much for like sharing your story and being like real about the transfer portal and like going pro and just everything.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me. That was really fun.
Okay, well, that's all we have for this week. So thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to follow Girls Soccer Network on Instagram for more content. And you can also find me on TikTok and Instagram at Paige Thompson _30.
Hey, you can also find me on Instagram and TikTok at JaidenRodriguez.7. We're so excited to have you guys back, and thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you.